So what is up? I am Joe the Hoyos. I am the host of Beyond the Woodline, and today I have with me Alex and Shane from SAW Paranormal. How you guys doing today? Oop,
Good. How are you
I'm
doing, Joe?
good.
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. We had a chance to talk a little bit before we came on the air. I was telling you of a little event that happened recently, and I want to tell the people listening right now too. Um, a couple of weeks ago, my mom had a birthday party. She turned 72. Um, and that was on a Sunday. And that following Tuesday was my dad's 10-year anniversary of his passing. So my brother calls me on this Tuesday and was like, "Hey, I got something to tell you. It's really strange." Um, Madison, which is my 15-year-old niece, said, "Hey, I hear Grandpa's voice," and my brother was like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Yeah, it kind of freaks me out, but he's saying that he's happy for Grandma and that she deserves to have the party. That just that he was happy for her." So he was like, "Well, that's good. That's a good little message." And then on Tuesday, he calls me. He tells me, uh, "Man, thanks for joining in. I appreciate that, and thanks for sharing it too." Um, on that Tuesday, they were going to the cemetery, and he calls and tells me that my uncle, which is my dad's twin brother, uh, he was at the party also. Him and my aunt. And he said he called my brother to tell him that my aunt heard my dad's voice there also, and basically said the same thing, that he was happy for her, that she deserved a party, and that he would be waiting for her when her time comes. And neither one of them, my aunt or my niece, had communicated with each other at this point. So neither one of them knew that the other one had heard this voice. And when my brother told me that, man, I thought about you instantly, because the last time you were on the show, we got off the air, and you made me cry. Uh, stuff about my dad. You were pretty much, nailed it.
I know. Right after we got off, Shane's like, "Why are you always making people cry, Alex?"
Yeah, yeah, but it was cool. I appreciated it. But like I said, man, I really wanted to get your thoughts on that. And have you heard of stuff like that happening before to people who may not have that ability?
Absolutely. And if how I have noticed it, even being a medium, if I walk into a place, say, and there's multiple family members that are related to that one deceased person, it will it's almost more energy created to help that person come through, in my opinion. And as I was saying before, I think that a lot of times when spirits cross over our loved ones, they like to meet us at a hall, or a lot of times when we have a dream of them or visitations, we see them at a hall or a gathering. So for your loved one to come through at a family gathering, I find that, I think that's pretty common actually. A lot of times we hear like, oh, like an ornament fell off the tree or something at Christmas and we knew it was, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, it's really awesome validation too for people that can't just openly communicate to your loved one, to just have them be able to pop through and have not one but two other people in their family actually be able to hear. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't hear them though. If I mean, I didn't ask them whether they heard it like in their head or like outside. Because
right.
I know people who do that too. I've got a friend of mine who he's been able to do that too, and he says he hears it from like on a speaker coming at him.
Yeah, it really depends too. I've had times where like it'll be kind of like clairaudient, like in the back of my head, but then just the other day when we went investigating, I heard somebody like say his name like right in my ear and nobody else heard it. I thought it was one of his friends messing with him. I was like, come on, was that one of you guys like messing with him? They were like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
that
no, go ahead.
that just sounded like it really was like we're just right there. It wasn't even clairaudient. Like it was like magic whispering. Like that spirit projected that voice right there. It was
Right. Right.
insane.
Yeah, I like what Irene said. After her mom died, she's still celebrating her birthday and still get her a slice of cake from the bakery and let her know that I still remember her birthday.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
yeah. She so and also, like, before we came on here, I told you that I don't go to the cemetery, and it's not because I don't want to go, or I don't want to remember my dad. And I think I told you last time, I always feel my dad around. I always feel him around. So I don't see where I go in the cemetery is going to change anything. He's always around me, so
Yeah, a
maybe
lot
that's
of
why he's around
spirits
me.
I talk to too. They're like, we don't reside there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
They
just
want
their
to be
vessel,
where
right?
their family is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's not to say anything bad about anyone who goes to the cemetery. I think people, if they feel they absolutely should go. That's just
Absolutely.
not what
Yeah.
I do, and I don't know if I would ever do that. Thank you, Dr. William Lester, good guy.
Oh yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there too.
Yeah, to all you mothers.
Shane's like, thank you.
Here you go. Oh, that's it.
Oh, it's so
And that's my
sad. Oh.
and that's my sister. I'll block her immediately. Yeah, and
I was gonna say, I was like, wait a minute, there's another De Hoyos in there.
yeah, there's another one. There's
Did you
quite a few
share
of us
that?
running around.
I think so.
So what have you guys been up to? You guys been doing any investigations or?
We just started actually filming some stuff.
We've been planning a lot of investigations to film for this whole entire summer because we're really not winter people. So we've been trying to figure out, well, what can we post during winter? So we're trying to think of like, well, filler videos during, we can film the filler videos during winter and then have seasons where we actually release. And I think we're going to release like episodes kind of from October to March, I think you were
Something
saying.
like that, yeah.
So kind of getting like a filming schedule and plan and definitely looking into a lot of places to go.
Yeah, I've been doing my Bigfoot thing. Still doing that. I love doing that. So that's what I've been up to. I don't know if I'll do it so much in the summertime. It gets too hot down here. I'm here in Texas. Where are you guys at?
We're in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's cold 11 out of the 12 months.
Unfortunately. Yeah, so it's hard to even bear the weather outside. It's one day it's like 70 degrees, the next day it goes down to 30 something.
And then it's snowing.
Yeah.
That's great. It is it's 89 here right now, but it was actually up to like 92 today this morning.
Dude.
Oh, I'm jealous. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Let me tell you something. It is so humid. I mean, I can't even walk outside for a few minutes before you start sweating. That's the only thing bad about the humidity here in Texas, man. It's terrible. Yeah.
Where do you find a lot of your Bigfoot evidence? Like, where's like one of the biggest locations that you go to?
The San Houston Forest. It's just north of Houston, about an hour north of Houston. But like Houston onto the east side of Texas is heavily wooded, so we get a lot of encounters out from San Houston and East Texas. It's actually a very active state as far as Bigfoot goes.
Oh,
a lot
wow.
of encounters out here. Yeah, a lot of encounters. And
Shane is so intrigued with that. I think he'd be like way more yeah.
I'm scared of Bigfoot. Yeah.
Geez, yeah, we need to get you down here, man. I think you'd love it down here, especially if you get some of these parts of the woods and
have something actually shake him up a bit other than a ghost. Oh my gosh.
Ghosts don't scare me.
You get scared sometimes.
No, I'm just scared of the dark, not ghosts. It's different.
Yeah, he's just scared of the dark.
I am too. I won't lie.
Have you guys ever been like legit scared? Like as a couple, not like one's scared, the other one's not. Have both y'all ever been scared together?
Probably the Conjuring house, right?
Maybe you, not me.
You were scared.
I was scared when I was alone.
Go off on your own.
That's when I was alone in the house.
You were only in there for a few. The Conjuring house was really, really scary. But
now, was the house scary, or did y'all have a scary experience?
I had a really scary experience. I mean, I was kind of picking up that we were going to get psychically attacked going in there, but then actually walking into the house and being in there for a few minutes, I had things trying to mess with me, and like a black mass went over my head. I was getting really dizzy, nauseous. I almost fainted walking up the stairs.
Shane,
yeah.
Does Shane ever feel any of these effects?
Yeah, sometimes you feel emotional, or
yeah, mostly that though.
Yeah, he'll feel like the emotion I feel from residual energy or from like what somebody experienced. You did not feel okay at Rolling Hills in that one room. You really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cooper, you're gonna fall.
That's right.
What happened to you there, Shane?
What did happen? So there was this room where they would do like electric shock therapy, and I was in there with one of our buddies, Matt. He was, and it was only me and him in that room, and I just got like severe anxiety. I was getting a little, what's the word?
Irritable?
Yeah, irritable. So like, yeah, anxiety, irritability, not really good mix.
You weren't yourself for sure. You were kind of being you were moody.
Asshole.
You wanted to get out of there. You were about to leave me in that part of the freaking place by myself. I was like, hello.
So yeah, that was, I don't think I've ever felt that before. So that was an experience. I would call it a cool experience. I'm glad it happened and I got to experience that. But I'm sure not too cool for the people that actually experienced what went on in that room, you know?
Right.
That place
Do you guys do any kind of protection before you go into a place?
I do. We almost actually, this probably sounds horrible. We almost actually want to like loosen up on how much protection I go forth with beforehand because it actually has dimmed down some people's experiences. Almost like they have too much protection on them to the point where they're not getting anything happening on the investigation then. And then I'm like, oops. So yeah, I do a lot between wearing necklaces, cleansing myself, smudging.
Yeah, I try to go for like none of that.
Yeah, Shane will do it afterwards for sure, but
I want it all, you know. I want all the
There you go. Yeah. See. Yeah, you'd be perfect down here, running through the woods.
you'd
Yeah,
actually get here.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, the last time we went out, it was in South Texas. It was in Beeville, and I saw something black in the woods, and it was so thorny. I mean, these thorns were like this long, you know, and had to go all the way around to go see what it was. And by the time I got there, whatever it was gone. But yeah,
See, that would terrify the hell out of me.
Yeah, there's some crazy experiences, you know, and
we can honestly say I think the woods, and I even took a poll that one day on my Instagram, and a lot of people say that like they're more afraid to investigate outside than inside. And even while we were at Conjuring House, like you felt, and it was bad inside, you needed to get outside for fresh air from being there, but like then you felt like not safe outside, so you had to go back in.
Yeah.
So like
really
investigating woods, I feel like would be another level of fear,
I
especially
would
at night.
Probably be generally terrified if I weren't investigating out in the woods and like in a building, or even like in like an opening about, you know, outside like a cemetery. But once there's like woods,
have you done a cemetery?
Huh?
Have you done cemeteries?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did the one over here. We did the Sweeney
yeah.
one. We did that one in Tonawanda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a couple of cemeteries.
Yeah, definitely. Cemeteries don't get me, honestly, either. The woods definitely would. I feel like anything can come from anywhere in the woods. There's no safe place there.
Yeah, you got, at least down here we got hogs that we got to worry about, and bobcat. Yeah, hogs are bad.
Yeah, we have none of that over here. We just have like homeless people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I've done that one time too. So I don't know if I told you this story, but we were looking for a Civil War cemetery. I don't think I told you this story.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so.
So we're walking through the woods and we come across all these tarps, all these buckets, and I mean the smell was unbearable. There was definitely people living there, and I would say at least 10, 12 people lived in this little area because there was tarps all over the place, and there were these little makeshift restrooms all over the place too. we're looking for that cemetery. We walked through the woods. We came to a clearing. We passed the clearing up. We went to the next wood line, and just beyond that is when we saw all those tarps and stuff. We're like, you know what? We need to go back because these people come back. They're not going to be happy we're in the camp. You know?
Yeah.
So on our way back through that clearing that we just came through, we started finding the headstones, and then the fog rolled in on us. It was the creepiest thing ever. We walked through it and didn't see a single headstone. Came back, all the headstones were there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was
It's
creepy. Now
like
they weren't really big. They were maybe foot or so high off the ground. They were like old
Those
Civil
tiny
War.
ones,
Yeah, but I mean, still, no one tripped over it on the way there. No one saw it on the way there. But on the way back, when everybody said, "Hey, look, there's headstones over here," they were all over the place.
walked right past them.
Yeah,
like a scary movie on the way back.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's like we walked to another dimension. Like I said, then the fog rolled in on us. That was even creepier.
Right, like perfect timing, geez.
I like that. That was a good night.
That was like, yeah, good old Berg Cemetery. Oh my gosh, we were practically walking. It was so pitch black there, but you had to like really make sure that you were watching what you were doing because otherwise you're stepping on, like,
Yeah, stepping on someone's grave.
headstone. That was right. They were practically covered with the dirt.
The potty. Be right back.
Okay. He'll be right back.
Okay, that's fine. So, one other thing I want to talk to you about was like tarot cards. I know you do that, and what got you involved with that?
So, I'm mostly an oracle card person, but I will dabble with tarot cards as well. I wouldn't ever touch them up until my mentor, which I was doing readings before my mentor, and then once I took classes from my mentor, I would always see her shuffling, and I would be like, you know what? What's the deal with these? Why do you do them? And she's like, when you want to do quick readings and not exert all of your energy and just be able to go through people quickly and get to people as many as you can, you just use cards and then you don't have to try as hard. You can just train yourself to almost look at colors or certain words and match it up with meanings and how you feel, and almost base it off of like each person you get, because you're going to feel different with each person's energy. So if you get the same card with a different person, you kind of train yourself on how to pick out the differences and whatnot. I love them. I love using them. My clients love them.
Yeah, something I started looking into, and I've had a couple of readings, and pretty accurate. I was pretty surprised. Some of the stuff that comes up, and it's like what you did that day. Saying stuff that nobody else would know. So yeah, it was pretty cool stuff. I really liked it. I actually have a set of oracle cards myself that I've been messing with, trying to fool around with.
They're fun. They're good. It's a good tool to use, especially when you're first getting involved with your abilities, to kind of train yourself. The ESP, so to speak. It's really good when you're talking to your ancestors and whatnot, and your loved ones on the other side. You just do a quick card pull for yourself. It can be really, I don't know, gives you kind of closure for the day sometimes.
Right.
Super.
Yeah. So like what I've been doing, I've been messing with the oracle cards. I do that every morning just to kind of see what happens, and take it.
Yeah, literally. I'll be posting them on my story on Facebook and my Instagram story because I like to share with people. I'll pull them in the mornings, and it's just a good way to start the day. Oh, wow.
That'd be cool to investigate.
I've actually heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Or like how you've seen like those graves with the cages over top them.
Yeah.
Right. I know, like in New Orleans, they have a bunch of, or like Louisiana period, they have a bunch of the above grave. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
I wonder if it's the same principle or not, but I think they do it over there because they're below sea level. So when it floods, everything else will come up. I think that's the reason why. That's what I heard anyway. But
Oh, Cooper. Oh my goodness. Struggling. Are you planning in anything for the summer or anything for
I don't
investigation?
know. We might go out a couple of times, and but I don't know about actual camping. Like I said, it's just too hot. Just too hot to camp. Um, I know we have a there's a haunted cemetery in Huntsville, and we want to go check that place out. But that's going to be a private group thing that we're going to do. So
Yeah,
um,
there you go.
yeah, and then there's a couple other places here where they have orbs. I think it's called Bragg Road. It's in East Texas. Um, I know people have gone on this road and have seen orbs on the road that they say looks like a motorcycle, coming at you, but you can
Oh, wow.
drive at it and it just keeps moving away and moving away.
That's wild. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so yeah, I don't, I've never seen that for myself, but I definitely want to see it. Maybe catch one and put it in a mason jar or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you venturing out anywhere from your like hometown for investigations or not yet?
Well, I've gone to different places. I've been to like Falk, Arkansas. I've been to a couple places in Louisiana, um, but I don't have anything planned to go out. I haven't gone out like that since COVID. Everything got shut down, and there's
Right.
still people who want you to be vaccinated and masked up when you go and meet up and stuff. And it's like, well, I'm gonna go out with my friends. I don't want to do all that stuff. So I'll
Right.
just there's a select group of guys that I hang out with now, and um, we're all on the same page, and we all go to the same area, so it's always fun when I hang out with those guys.
Right.
Oh, okay. She said the land is precious there, and that's a tiny island. I guess that's why they do it both ways.
Hmm.
She's in Japan, but
Do you
yeah,
want to try this?
I think I don't think I'll go anywhere at least until the after summertime.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's way too hot in Texas. You can't do anything there in the summer, I feel like.
You can go to the river. That's fun.
Yeah.
The river is freezing cold all the time. There's a couple of out there hill country and near San Antonio. It's really really fun to go to and hang out, and it just gets so cold. Um, what do you
Yeah,
guys do during the summertime?
what do we do in the summertime?
Investigate,
Yeah, we
really.
investigate.
Okay. Do you have any plans this summer on where you're going?
Oh, we got a lot actually planned.
We've got a few, yeah. We're trying to line up right now. I don't do we want to give away like some or not really?
We can give away a couple. We can give
Why
away,
not?
yeah.
Do we want to say where we're going on the 30th? 28th?
Yeah, we can do that.
So on the 28th, we're actually going to be going to the Hull House.
Where's that?
It's the Hull House. It's actually in Lancaster, I think.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
It's like a
That's
half hour drive from us.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
like a 200-year-old stone house. It's been through a lot. It's lived through a lot of history and whatnot. So we're hoping to get a decent amount there.
Mhm.
I couldn't really find too much history on it. I don't think a lot of people have really rented it out. It looks like it's like I don't know. I don't think it was like available to the public for very
No,
long.
I think it
yet.
just got finished being renovated, fixed up, so people can actually go in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that probably upset the ghosts a little bit.
Right, definitely.
Right.
It was
Yeah,
owned
that
for
will happen.
generations.
You guys
So
get a
we
chance to leave your state?
What was that?
You guys get a chance to get out of your state to investigate?
No, just the Conjuring House last year. That's when we've left state.
Sadly, right now we're kind of in the middle, gonna be house hunting here. So like we haven't really had a chance to look for investigating outside of the state or anything as of right now. But we have ideas of like places we'd want to go in the future. We have a bucket list of places to go outside of here. Oh my gosh.
What's at the top of the list for you? What would be your dream location?
I would love to go to the Sally House or the Hill House in Texas, actual Mineral Wells. I really want to go there. That's been on my list for a long time.
Yeah, I went there a couple years ago.
Oh, how was that? Oh my gosh.
It was pretty cool place. We had some activity there. The guy had I don't know what you call it, the spirit box or the voice box. You talk,
Mhm.
you do the sessions. He told me, yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna do a session, and it was on. He's like, I'm gonna go upstairs to do a session. I said, can I go with you? And the voice comes through, come up.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, so
that's
that's
cool.
pretty cool.
That's an awesome response. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
come up. It's a cool place, man. They got a lot of dolls there, and it's all red lights and creepy staircase. Yeah, and he had some toys that whenever you touch them, they go off, and he had them sitting in the middle of the kids' room, and it was going off,
Oh
playing his
shit.
little music. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that definitely is kind of we want to go to the most haunted locations if possible.
Hmm.
Honestly, I think the worse the better for us.
What about like some place like Gettysburg? Did you guys do anything like that?
I would love to go to Gettysburg and investigate that place.
Oh my gosh, my grandma. My grandma has been there before I have. And my grandma told me she was seeing shadow figures. My grandma and my aunt both told me just through the tour alone, they were seeing shadow figures the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a place I'd love to go also, Gettysburg.
Hmm.
The Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast I'd really love to go to also.
I went to a bed and
So,
breakfast that was supposedly haunted, but nothing happened.
oh, really?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was the name of
It was in Louisiana. I can't remember the name of it, and we were just going just to go on a little trip, and we found a bed and breakfast, and we started reading the reviews. They were like, "Yeah, this place is haunted," and that was like one of their attractions is that it's haunted. But we went, and nothing happened. So yeah,
Damn.
yeah. I mean, I guess it happens, right? They took a night off.
That's kind of
Yeah, I
how
guess
it
the
was,
ghost checked out that day.
Yeah.
right? I feel like that kind of happened. Like Rolling Hills, he had a bomb. Like he had a blast,
It was
and
so
not
fun.
that like I had a horrible time or anything. I just did not get a lot of responses, a lot of like not a. Once we split off into groups, Shane got all the activity. I was getting like nothing. I was, uh, for lack of a better word, kind of bored there.
All that protection.
Yeah.
I know. I told myself that, I'm just gonna cleanse when I come back next time. I don't want to completely like shut myself off to
Yeah.
stuff.
Stop. Just going raw.
I think I
Me.
get nervous for the people we bring.
Oh, they're fine. The thing is, though, like when we went to Rolling Hills, me and our friend Matt, me and him had all the cool stuff happening. But when I went to go like transfer the footage onto the computer, it was all gone.
No shit.
All gone. I was so sad. I was so mad. Gone.
You still go into the computer to try
I
and
do
look
every
for
now
it
and
and
then.
recover it.
I know. She
Hmm.
can't do it. Lost hope. I'm
You think it was
still am
something?
too upset.
You think it was something technical or something else?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it honestly was
think-
the energy there because they even said during the tour they were like, a lot of electronics get played with here.
Yeah. So much. Oh, there was so much good stuff that happened. Gone.
Yeah.
I mean, the wheelchair moved for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the same thing happens, doing the Bigfoot thing. Sometimes you get activity, sometimes you don't, and,
What is
sometimes
typical Bigfoot activity? Like, what kind of activity do they stir up?
anything from the wood knocks, a lot of vocals, stuff being thrown, um, the footsteps and shaking trees, and which stuff we've all experienced, going out there. And there's like two locations that we go out to, and we get a lot of that activity. Um, but a lot of times, I think maybe like the last two times we went, I mean, we just sat out there and camped all night. Nothing happened, and which is nothing wrong with it. I don't mind sitting around a campfire.
Right.
And yeah, it was a nice night, so it was okay.
Because we were like watching some Bigfoot shows, I think recently actually,
Yeah.
and I was just even curious. I was like, what do you even? What does one look for Bigfoot? It's literally completely new to us. Honestly, we've never even tried. I mean, it makes you wonder though. That knocking we were hearing in the woods. That last investigation we did.
That was Bigfoot. It would have been way louder than that. I feel like if it was a Bigfoot. Plus, those woods aren't exactly huge.
Yeah.
What kind of knocking was it?
If it sounded like something being thrown.
Okay.
How can I describe it? I don't think I can describe it.
To me, it was coming off. It almost sounded like someone was chopping wood out there
Really?
at one point, but nobody else was hearing that.
Yeah, we get a lot of that too, where people talk about it. It's not like someone's, building a house out here, chopping wood, or out in the middle of nowhere, where nobody else is at, and so that's a pretty common description, and of
Oh,
course they
wow.
do the rock clacking, where they'll get two rocks and they'll clack them
Yeah.
together, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Like,
you get
are-
anywhere near water, you got a pretty good chance out in the woods, and if it's an area where, like, if you've heard of Bigfoot sightings, that's what we try to do.
Well, that's the thing too. I don't know if anybody's ever had Bigfoot sightings over here.
Definitely not. Maybe like upper state New York with that.
Yeah, I know
that
for
hill.
sure upstate New York, definitely.
Or
I've
like
had
near
friends that live
Allegheny.
up there.
Ooh.
Over here though, it would have just been so uncommon. I didn't know what I've never had activity like that though, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've never had like knocking, like it did sound like something threw or knocked on wood at you guys after that one EVP response. That was wild.
Right. Yeah, see, like even like the stuff that gets thrown, I often wonder how much of that could be paranormal, also.
Yeah, it's
Or
hard
even,
to.
or even
It's
the
hard to tell.
footsteps.
Yeah, it could be a deer, like a woodpecker.
Yeah, some of the wood knocks I heard, it'd be about a 400-pound woodpecker.
Yeah,
Right.
Cooper, stop licking me.
But yeah, that's like, and do they give off like EVPs? Like, have you ever caught like one talking, or do they talk at all?
There's a big debate in the Bigfoot world whether or not these creatures have that ability. But I've heard murmuring, like mumbling, like "Roar, roar, roar, roar." This is
Yeah.
weird, almost like sound of the Tasmanian devil kind of talk, So that's pretty common, and they actually call that samurai chatter. They sound like samurai chatter. So, yeah, I've heard that twice, and other people have heard that same chatter or talking, or whether it's a language or not. We don't know. Some linguistic people have listened to it and have said, "Yeah, that's a language. That's it's a language for sure." But all animals communicate, so.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. That's really intriguing, actually. Like we've never even. It's funny that it pops up too, because at least we're talking to somebody that knows at least a little bit. You research it, so I mean, because we never knew who to really ask. We were like,
Yeah, and so when I have questions, I've got a bunch of friends that I can ask, and we bounce ideas off each other, and yeah, I think that's the only way you really learn is just by communicating and talking to people. Because
finding the right
I wouldn't dare
community.
say I know everything, because I don't. Um, Even I'll hear a noise and I'm like, oh, what the hell was that? And I'll send it to someone I know been hunting their whole life. And, oh, no, that was an owl, or that was this or that. But it's always fun to send them something like, dude, I've never heard that. What the hell is that? I love it when they tell me that. Um, I got this growl last year in January. I'm like, dude, is this an alligator? And they said, dude, they know alligators out here in January. And that particular January was when we had our deep freeze here in Texas.
Oh
The
yeah.
whole damn state shut down. So the alligators for sure weren't out. They were hibernating still. Yeah. So whatever growl I heard, they were like, no, that couldn't be no alligator.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
But that's what it sounded like. And then the creek where I had the recorder, there was no tracks of any kind. It was clear and sandy and muddy. So if any alligator had walked through there, we would have seen it, the tracks, and of course the sludge mark from it sliding everywhere.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. Um,
We actually, I mean, eventually I'd love to do the Hinsdale house, but we actually,
we got somewhere close to that.
yeah,
Keep that one a
without,
secret.
we want to keep that a secret.
I want that one a secret. That one's be cool.
Yeah. Well, without saying too much,
We're going somewhere near the Hinsdale house in New York.
We have a friend that like owns property nearby that they get a lot of activity there, and they're basically neighbors with the Hinsdale house. So we're gonna see what pops up there this summer too, which that'll be exciting too.
There's a hotel in Galveston. It's called the Galvez. Um, it just got bought and is being renovated. It's an old hotel too. It's one of the oldest in Galveston, if not the oldest. Um, so where I work at, I'm in printing, and we're doing some brochures for the hotel Galvez. And the sales guy that works there, he's like, yeah, these people are friends of mine. I know them. I said, what? He's like, yeah. I said, dude, you got to get me in there. You got to get me in there. There's a one room in particular. I think it's 501 or 505. That's like the most haunted rooms. I said, dude, I want those rooms.
Right.
I want to get in those rooms. So he's supposed to ask the guys when he dropped off the brochure. I'll tell him, look, tell him I'll pay. I just want to make sure they get that room available for me.
Right, exactly. Oh my god.
Maybe you'll find Bigfoot there,
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Just chilling out.
Stranger things have happened, man.
Aye. That would be a sight. Just walk in and have a Bigfoot chilling in your room.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there have been reports. So, like north of Houston, there's a place called the Woodlands, and it's like really growing. It's really expanding. Several years ago, when they were doing their major expansion, some of the construction workers reported seeing Bigfoot running out of the buildings in the morning when they would go to work.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So imagine that going to work in the morning and
yeah, just have
up.
Oh my god, stealing and rummaging through your stuff. Oh my god.
Got a coffee cup in his hand, a really small robe on. Just
Yeah.
walking back to
People
the
go
woods.
camping, they get scared of bears stealing their stuff. I guess be wary of Bigfoot stealing your food. I don't know.
Yeah. That's been known to happen too. There's the one area where we went about 2 months ago. That's why we went, because the guy had an encounter out there, and they were in their tents, and they could hear it going through their pickup truck and going through their ice chest, dumping everything out.
Oh my god.
And they actually saw it prior to going to their tent, so they knew it was out there, and they smelled it, of course.
Yeah, they smell bad, right? That's like a thing.
For the most part, they do, but a lot of encounters, people don't report smells either.
It's very true.
Yeah, there are some people say that they didn't smell anything.
Huh. What were you going to ask? It was a big question, I think.
Yeah, so like a lot of these sightings, they're like near Houston, right? Somewhere.
Like I said, like an hour north of Houston, and then there's like an hour and a half east of Houston.
I have like a lot of family in Houston, so I wonder if they've like ever went out somewhere and seen anything.
Like seen something?
Yeah, I had to ask.
Did they go out to the woods or anything?
I don't know. I don't talk to them often. Maybe they do.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to hear though if they do. Or if they at least hear stories from people around even.
You know what's really funny too is that, so even further north, like I said, you get outside of Houston, about an hour outside of Houston, it's just all wooded area, especially like east, like Houston to Dallas area, all the way to the east is just wooded. I was out drinking with my cousin one day, and he's like, it's funny. I don't know. Did I tell you the story about him coming working on my house, and he had someone grab him by his hand? He said
I don't know.
He said that he kept feeling someone grab his arm because he was supposed to start doing work the next day. And he was telling us about it, and so he's like, dude, someone keeps grabbing my arm. And he came and he grabbed my arm. He grabbed it really tight. He's like, this is how it feels. So the next day he came to work, started working on the house, and he held up his arm. He had 4 fingerprint bruises like this on his arm.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
See, I would love that to happen to me, honestly.
Have it recorded.
Yeah, just to document it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I want like the worst thing to happen to me.
You got a pretty bad attachment, and you did not document that at all. You didn't even want to believe you had an attachment at the time, though.
True. Yeah, whatever.
Okay. So that same cousin, I went drinking with him one day, and he's like, "Man," he's like, "I gotta tell you something." He goes, "I see you do your show all the time." And I'm like, "Yeah." He says, "Up in Madisonville, which is just maybe almost 2 hours north of Houston, his grandfather on his dad's side had a bunch of property out there, and there's a river that runs through there." He goes, "Dude, we just see a Bigfoot out there when we were little." I said, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." He said, he goes, "There was about 20 of us out there, all the cousins and stuff. They all went up to the land, party and stuff. And that my other cousin went under the water when it was by the pier and were trying to sneak up on everyone. And he said he jumped up out of the water like, rah, trying to scare them." He said they looked, and on the other side of the river, they saw it standing there looking at them, and they took off running. And my cousin was in the water thinking he scared everybody away. And when he turned around, he saw it standing on the other side of the river too. He
Oh
jumped his
my.
ass out of that river. Yeah. He said,
Right.
yeah. He said about 20 of them saw it standing on the other side.
Could you imagine trying to run with all that weight of water too?
Trying to get out of the water.
Right, just like moving in slow motion. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Doggy paddling back to shore.
yeah, but,
Oh my god.
so when you talked about him not documenting it and maybe he's not wanting to believe it happened to him, do you find that uh, pretty common too, where people don't want to believe that something happened to them and
A
or
lot of
almost
times, yeah, because a lot of times people want to chalk it up to something else because the symptoms of attachment can be something that
Cough,
can be
fever,
so overlooked. Yeah, it could be
runny
a cough.
nose, diarrhea.
No, yeah. Less COVID there. No. But like even I mean, you were not eating, you weren't really sleeping.
I don't think I even smoked for a week.
Yeah, you were really off. You were kind of moody. You were really every time I lit sage around you, you like got mad. Which was so
Well, it could have been because you kept getting it in my eyeball after
I
that
didn't
investigation.
no. I think that was part of the entity, I swear.
Okay.
You should have threw some holy water on them, see what happened.
No.
Oh, the lamp was on for a second, the way the light was on. Yeah, but I don't know. A lot of people, I think you just kind of ignore the symptoms of attachment because a lot of people actually just get rid of attachment so easily on their own. They're not as not always. They're not always as major as some people put them off to be. There can be levels of attachment that need like exorcism, and then there are attachments that you really can just get rid of yourself by just cleansing and grounding yourself back to the earth. And people do that sometimes on a daily basis without noticing in their everyday routine.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever looked into remote viewing?
Yeah, I'm able to do it.
Oh, really? How successful are you?
Pretty successful. It's actually, I started doing it before I even knew I had psychic ability. My friend, that when she actually was in Michigan for a few years, I was on the phone with her the one day, and she was talking to me about her house, and I was like closing my eyes thinking about it, and I was talking to her about where she could go in her house, and she was like, "How do you know the ins and outs of my house like that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I can just picture it. I can see it. I can see it just picturing it." So, yeah, I'm pretty decent at it. I haven't done it very often, but I'm able to.
That's interesting. You should try to do that with Bigfoot. Tell me where his ass is at.
I see trees.
Right.
Yeah. I see trees. Yeah.
I probably could if I really actually tried hard enough. I wonder if I could.
No, that's cheating. That's cheating. Let them figure it out.
Well, if they have any mystical power of their own, they probably wouldn't.
There you go. There you go. I had this lady on one time, and she was telling me she went to one of those. It was a medium, psychic medium. It was like one of those galleries, where everyone's sitting in the audience, and I don't remember if it's a guy or a girl, but where they picked her family out, and she her grandfather came through. Or maybe it was her father, the kid's grandfather. I think that's what it was. He came through and he had a message for everyone and was telling them about stuff. And she goes, "Oh, I got a message for your oldest son who was sitting right there from from dad." And He said to tell your son that Bigfoots are real.
Oh my gosh.
They used to watch
That's
Bigfoot
really
shows together.
cool.
So I guess somehow he just let them know that Bigfoots were real. So I was happy with
Once you
that.
pass over, there's so many, like, it's limitless. All, like, the boundaries of the universe that,
Right.
like, every person has to kind of uphold and go by. Those universal laws, so to speak, they're really not there when you pass away. So I feel like a spirit can really just go ahead and see if they want, like, oh yeah, like Bigfoots are real, because I can go check that out now.
There you go. Yeah. 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 Do you think they, when they pass over, that they can just do what they want, or they have to maybe?
To an extent, from what I've been told, because I've asked spirits, because you get curious, when you do readings with them, and they almost have work to line up to do. They're like righting their wrongs from this lifetime, which is why there are times where it's like you have a client and they're like, I don't want to hear from this person. They were horrible to me. And it's like they're righting their wrongs, that they're seeing something that they would have never seen. Because from their perspective now, it's like a movie. You can go backwards, you can go forwards, but you're not seeing only your perspective now. You can look at everybody, how it affected every single person now. And you can tune into that, and that plays a really big role. And between righting their wrongs and preparing for their next lifetime that they live, if they ascend to that next lifetime, depending on how far they've ascended. They've got like work to do almost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you too. If you believe in reincarnation.
I do.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. I used to not believe it, but I believe in it now. I just seen too much and heard too
It
many
can be
stories.
confusing because it is separate from the Akashic records that they say, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I just believe in it, and I also believe not just us here as earthly beings. I believe we can come from other planets and be on Earth, or vice versa. But I think it's an ascension process, like you were saying.
Absolutely. They've told us that we sign up for this life before we get here. We
Yeah.
know what we want to overcome and what obstacles we're going to have to overcome to get to what we want to get to.
Right, right. Because people say that all the time. They're like, I don't know why I came to this planet. Why did I come here? I don't know why I chose this life.
And to overcome that problem right there,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, overcome that issue. And I think
And
maybe.
a lot of times too, I've noticed like a lot of the things that we want when we're a kid, like you're a kid and you want all these things and you have goals, but we're told and made to feel that those goals and those wants and desires are unrealistic. And the educational system kind of teaches us a lot of limits. And then we start to be like, oh, like what's a realistic goal? And we end up changing what we originally wanted in our lifetime. But really, what you want from when you're a kid is actually what you're meant to establish in life, because your soul remembers, your soul knows what you signed up for when you're a kid, because you have no fears, no limitations. So I always tell people, go back to what you wanted when you were a kid. What kind of happiness? What did you envision for a marriage, for your successes? Like that's within reach. It's just we've been made to feel like we can't.
Right, or like you're like they put you in a box, right? And
Yeah.
this is it right here. And there's so much more outside of that box.
Yeah, and our soul remembers.
Have you ever done any past life regressions, either for someone else or for yourself?
I've done them for myself and for other people, which can be very, very. It can be emotional and cool at the same time. Really.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that too. So I need to find someone near me. That just
It's definitely, it helps you understand like where you are now and why you've had to go through the things you've had to go through to get to where you are now. Because what I'm finding is that a lot of the things in our past lives, what we went through as a kid in this lifetime, we went through when we were older in those past lifetimes, and that's how our lives ended. So we had to go through all that trauma this lifetime earlier on to actually overcome it.
Right.
So it's like everything's being pulled forward in a weird way. So past life regressions really help in that kind of like weird sense.
Pretty cool. Well, I know you guys have something to do here shortly, but before we leave, I just wanted to ask you guys, do you have any advice or any suggestions for people who might want to get into this field and in the whole field of paranormal, really?
If you're called to do something over and over again and you're drawn to it, just you have to believe in yourself, I want to say, because me and Shane have been so harsh on ourselves, and I think held ourselves back at a point because we were so harsh and critiquing our work and thinking that it wasn't good enough.
I still critique my work.
Yeah, you're still really hard on yourself, and overcoming that and just following like what you want to do will open up the door. Like the universe will just meet you halfway. We've gotten a lot of crazy opportunities we thought we'd never get from finally just opening the door to believing that like we're meant to go somewhere with this.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, basically just do it with the check mark.
Don't worry about the repercussions. Just do it.
Yeah, that's really good advice because that's where I'm at. The last couple of years of my life, I just said, you know what, this is what I like to do, and starting this podcast was a part of that process, and just really, this is like the first time. I'm 50 years old. This is the first time in 2 years that I really feel like I'm me. Really my whole life.
And it pays off for something too. Like you keep on this path, Joe, and I'm sure you'll end up going in that direction or being there quicker than you thought you were going to be, that end goal, because it ends up coming quicker when you just kind of roll with it. Like you're okay with where you're at, but you know where you want to be and you're heading that way. The universe will just meet you halfway then.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned the universe. I've just really opened my mind to that aspect too. So I see a lot more than just on this planet. And there's so much more out there, and there's so much more that we're actually connected to, and that goes everything from life forms to the stars itself. We're connected to everything.
It's really mind-boggling. It's like it gives life a little bit more beauty for sure. Having that.
I definitely agree with that. Well, cool beans, guys. But I really appreciate you guys coming on and hearing my stories and giving me your opinions and talking about your experiences. I like that, guys. You're a really cool couple, so I really appreciate you guys coming on.
You were pretty cool. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. We always appreciate. I think this is our second time being on, and we really enjoyed it. It's more laid back. We enjoy that. So
the time always goes by fast, so you guys talk, and I love that. So
right.
Yeah, cool beans, man. Well, cool, guys. Well, thanks everyone in the chat room for participating. I appreciate that, and I will see you guys next time. I think the next show is next Wednesday or Thursday. I have to look. That's my next show. And you guys hold on real quick, and everybody and all the moms out there, have a happy Mother's Day, and everybody else, y'all be safe.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day, guys.